The Deputy Prime Minister on Grand Bahama today. I'm Joan Davis-Rowe. We'll tell you in the story coming up.
Aragonite has become a hot-button topic. Coming up, we'll tell you what it is and what it can be used for.
The Bahamas Tonight, the Northern Edition, starts now.
This is the Bahamas Tonight, the Northern Edition. Good evening, all. I'm Shashina Rule. As always, it is so great to have you with us. As police continue their investigation into this latest murder, a local activist and friend of the victim is speaking out. But first, the Grand Bahama community is in shock as a prominent businessman was murdered on Wednesday evening. This latest incident taking place in the Fortune Bay Drive area. Now, police say they are left with more questions than answers, and they need your help in bringing this matter to a close.
It started out as a routine evening walk for businessman Cedric Hepburn and his female companion ended in tragedy as police were called to the scene to investigate the country's latest homicide. Police say Hepburn was shot and killed around 6 p.m. Wednesday evening near the North Star Resort. As news spread of the well-known businessman's death, hundreds gathered near the site where his lifeless body laid, many quietly shedding tears.
Our initial investigation suggests that a male and female known to each other were walking along the Fortune Bay Drive, apparently doing their normal daily exercise. Shots suddenly rang out, and when the dust was cleared, it was discovered that the male was shot multiple times about the body.
The female, he says, was left unharmed. However, as police are in the preliminary stages of this investigation, he says there remains many unanswered questions. Questions like where the shots came from, how many suspects were involved in the shooting, and whether or not this couple were targeted. Fortune Bay Drive is a relatively quiet area where many persons walk in the mornings and evenings. However, ACP Seymour says they are still gathering information to find out if anyone was walking in the area when this gruesome murder took place.
We don't know whether it's a person or persons who would have done the shooting. All we know is a male resident of Freeport is the apparent victim. We have begun our investigation into this matter to determine who the persons were responsible in this particular latest homicide. That's about all the information I can give you at this time.
Hepburn is the owner of CLH Trucking and is noted for his legal battle with the Grand Bahama Port Authority over land ownership of a prime property in Fortune Bay known as Fortune Key. His murder has left family members devastated. At the scene on Wednesday night, ACP Seymour could be seen consoling family members as they inquired as to why and how such a tragic incident could have happened. While police are still looking for a motive in the fatal shooting, ACP Seymour says they are working aggressively to solve this case.
This Bahamas is very small. One of the things I continue to say, because I know it for a fact, every incident, everything that goes on in this little Bahamas, someone or somebody know exactly what happened. And so I want to make an appeal for those persons who know what transpired here, who have some information that can help us bring some resolve to this particular matter, to come forward to police so that we can close this matter in the shortest possible time, and of course put the families' minds and of course the residents in the area minds at ease.
If you can help police with this investigation, you are urged to contact 911, 919, or the nearest police station.
Now, as police continue their investigation into this latest murder, a local community activist and friend of the victim is speaking out. Sabrina Brown has this story.
All of us have to work together to combat this crime issue.
Community activist Troy Garvey is calling for an end to the senseless killing in the country. His passionate appeal comes following the brutal slaying of local businessman Cedric Hepburn on Wednesday evening.
Grand Bahama has lost one of his most precious businessmen, activist, a fighter. You know, words can't even explain to know how you feel this morning, especially myself. Cedric was a go-getter. He was a people's person. He was a giver. He was a person who anybody who come in contact with him would love.
Garvey, who was overcome with grief, says Hepburn was his personal friend and they were very supportive of each other.
I've known Sadie for about 25 years. We worked together at Grand Bahama Bakery. After getting to know Sadie was such an honorable thing because He was always a go-getter. Here lately, we restored our friendship by him supporting us in our fights, and we support him in his fights. You know, he was always, every morning, he would call and ask, say, what on the agenda today? And you could afford to look for that call because he was one of those who don't sit down, don't stop, and you know, he always developed a attitude and an agenda for where we can meet. And you know, just a sad day today.
As he mourns the loss of his good friend, Garvey says he will ensure that his legacy lives on and justice is served.
I want to just say to the family, you know, God is a just God and revenge is his. But I know for sure that we will not sit by idly and allow his death to go in vain.
Sabrina Brown, ZNS Network News.
Meantime, police are investigating an attempted armed robbery over in Guanakee, Abaco. The incident reportedly occurred around 11 o'clock this morning. Reports are that a gunman entered a store on Guanakee wearing a piece of cloth tied around his face. An employee of the store reportedly recognized the gunman, and a struggle ensued, which resulted in the employee being struck to the head and the firearm discharged. The suspect fled the store empty-handed. However, he was arrested a short time by police in Guanakee. Now, that matter is currently under investigation. Switching gears now, the president of the Grand Bahama Port Authority, Ian Roll, joining the Bahamian government delegation in Qatar. The Bahamian contingent is hoping to drum up interest among potential investors. A press statement issued by the Grand Bahama Port Authority Limited says President Ian Roll captured yet another opportunity to herald the benefits of the city of Freeport during the 14th Doha Forum that attracted more than 300 delegates from 39 countries. The port president made a presentation on the economic potential of Freeport to various high-level investors, including members of the Qatar Investment Authority. Roll says the Port Authority had and capitalized on an excellent opportunity to promote the benefits of Freeport, noting that the Bahamian delegation had a captive audience of extremely influential investors, and the message was precise: the opportunities Freeport present as a platform for a wide range of investments. Now, the port president calls it a tremendous opportunity as the Qatar Investment Authority manages one of the largest sovereign funds in the world. And the Deputy Prime Minister was on Grand Bahama today, not only advancing the social agenda of Urban Renewal 2.0, but he was also joined by a cross-sector of the community who found a man with 100 reasons to celebrate. John Davis Roll has this story.
The Deputy Prime Minister, Philip Brave Davis, says initially he was here on Grand Bahama on an official visit.
And I came in to deal with some immigration matters in the absence of the substantive minister.
However, when the Deputy Prime Minister learned that a resident was about to become this island's latest centenarian, he made an adjustment to his itinerary to be a part of this historic moment. He made a U-turn to the Urban Renewal Mako City Center in Freeport, where 100-year-old resident Jeffrey Capron was treated to a grand birthday celebration.
It's not very often that we're able to meet a person at that age, at this time in his life, who is still very alert and can still remember and tell you stories of the past. And so it's wonderful for me to come here. And Urban Renewal is providing the bridge between the young and the old, and all the social ends of our society. They are bridging together to ensure that the community becomes a healthy and productive community to help at the end of the day to build what I call a great nation.
According to Deputy Director of Urban Renewal Michelle Rackley, the event captivates the true essence of Urban Renewal 2.0 as they seek to celebrate those who have given so much.
A man who God has allowed to live 100 years, that is just such a blessing. And you know, that is what we are about, being a blessing to others who have been a blessing to others time and time again. And this is the reason why these centers are open every day to whomever will. And we are here to just celebrate people and celebrate the life of people. You know, too often we sit back and we hear the negative, we see the negative, but today is a glorious day.
A highlight of the event, an all-Bahamian feast, and for the honoree, an opportunity to dine with the Deputy Prime Minister and others as they celebrated a 100-year-old king.
Today, celebrating 100 years, we wanted to bring the good old days back. So today we have sweet potato boiled with cream and sugar. We have cassava boiled with sugar. We have crab and grits, crab and dough, stuffed crab, garlic crab, peas and grits, and of course fried fish. And you know, I'm so excited because all of this was prepared by the urban cook herself, none other than yours truly. And it's a pleasure, you know, that God has gifted me with this talent that I can share and be a blessing to so much people through my hands and to cook a good meal for them to enjoy.
Very pleasant today. It's a pleasant day for me.
How did you manage to live so long, 100 years?
One of the Ten Commandments says, honor thy father and thy mother, that thy days may be long upon the land which thy God giveth thee. So God dealing with the rest.
Joan Davis Roll, ZNS Network News.
Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, Mr. Capron. Happy birthday to you.
Stay with us. The Bahamas Tonight, the Northern Edition continues right after this.
Bringing news that matters to you. You're watching the Bahamas Tonight, Northern Edition.
Welcome back. A close call for faculty, staff, and students at St. Paul's Methodist College today as a utility pole snapped and landed on the grounds of the school. Principal Lynn Clinton calling the experience a scary one, but thankful that no one was hurt. She says the incident did cause a disruption.
When the phone went, and this is what we've been having since that time, and waiting for Freeport Power to come and restore the power lines. We called them, they came, did an inspection, and the wires, of course, were right down across the street, so no one could come in to enter the school. And so we were pleased with the power company coming and tagging the lines because persons were at risk coming on to the corner there, but it was pretty scary.
Now, Grand Bahama Power Company work crews were called to the scene and worked on the pole. She says her major concern was the safety of the students.
They're just saying that it's something that they can have rectified before school gets out at 3 o'clock, because that was my concern, because this is a one-way, and for cars to come in to pick up and to turn around, it will be absolute chaos out here, and we're hoping that we can avoid that. But they've since elevated the wires, so it seems as though cars can now pass underneath it. But our main concern was the risk. With it being a school campus and hundreds of children being here, we were concerned of the risk of children being here and those wires still being active.
Did they say if there was a great risk?
Well, they said no, they've killed the power.
Aragonite mining continues to make headlines throughout the country. Tonight, Sabrina Brown takes a closer look at this natural resource.
The Bahamas is believed to be the only place in the world with an abundance of aragonite, a natural resource found throughout the islands and Keys. This substance recently became the center of debate following the unveiling of a proposed aragonite development for East End. While the name has become more common in recent weeks, many are still asking, what is aragonite?
Aragonite is calcium carbonate, which is limestone, and basically forms the basis of all of our islands. It's a substrate, it's what makes up the land, as well as it also is deposited naturally in the ocean. It comes down as sand through a chemical process. And so, you know, we're surrounded by the sand, that's aragonite, as well as the island itself is made of aragonite.
This form of calcium carbonate is used primarily in the manufacture of cement and as a soil neutralizer. It is also used to make glass, fashion jewelry, and as a healing property, among many other things. Limestone, the prime source of calcium carbonate, must be quarried, crushed, and recrushed, and in some instances refined before it can be utilized. It is colorless when it is pure. The impurities in it give it beautiful colors. It was discovered near the Aragon province of Spain, thus the name aragonite. Local environmentalist Gail Wone says this resource is very valuable to the country.
The quality of our calcium carbonate is very high, it's very pure, and that's why it's in high demand in other countries. Martin Marietta Bahama Rock has been shipping it out for years, and they actually can process it whereby it can be used in medical processes as well as it's used. I read something last night. In the 70s, there's a very rich island in Miami called Fisher Island, and apparently that was made from the aragonite that came from Ocean Key.
There are mixed views about aragonite mining in the Bahamas. Woon believes protected areas around the country do not need to be compromised for this type of development.
Aragonite mining and ecotourism and fishing, they don't really go together. Not at all, but I'm sure that development, the Nassau Island development could do their project, but I would say they should look at a different area.
This environmentalist hopes Bahamians realize the value of our natural resources.
We as a people seem to be more interested in white-collar jobs, being lawyers and doctors, rather than going out and tilling the land and mining for aragonite or going out fishing. You have a lot of the young people who say, well, I don't want to go out on a boat and go fishing, or I don't want to work hard and drive a bulldozer for that sort of thing. They look down on those types of jobs, but in fact, those types of jobs are good for the economy and will help the Bahamas develop into a more richer country.
Sabrina Brown, ZNS Network News.
In other news, the campaign trail about to shift into high gear soon as candidates in local government get ready for elections. The City of Freeport Council will hold its final town meeting this evening at 7 at the Foster B. Pastina Center. According to public relations consultant Peter Adderley, it is an opportunity for residents to get a full and clear understanding of the role of local government and the council. Sitting members are expected to give an account of their stewardship over the past 3 years. Attorney Rangan Johnson will serve as the guest speaker. In other news, many families on Grand Bahama are struggling to survive, and with a high rate of unemployment, the social needs are said to be great. As the government and social agencies attempt to meet this growing demand, a local church is carrying out its Christian mandate. Joan Davis Roll reports.
You must have the spirit of compassion.
It is a mission she has prayed about, and now following much prayer and supplication, the church is moving to action to assist the less fortunate in the community. The outreach ministry of the School of the Prophetic Ministry for the second consecutive year is enlarging its territory, according to Outreach Director Valerie Thurston.
We started last year, and from the first clothes giveaway, so many people came in. And they were inquiring about food, grocery, lack. There was a lot of lack, and we decided to go forward with it to assist the less fortunate. There's so many in the community that we decided to push forward with it. So every month we deal with the members on the inside, and afterwards we assist the less fortunate on the outside.
Thurston says that many residents are in dire straits, and she's appealing for the haves to help the have-nots.
If they have a cupboard full of grocery, they can take out 2 cans of cream. Someone can give a bag of rice or clothes that are good, and they're not using it. They can also release it to somebody else who is in need. So anybody, our phone number here is 352-7610. We are located at the old Catholic High School grounds. Anybody can come from 9 to 1 and drop off whatever. So we appreciate any help.
Social agencies, she said, have their role to play, but the church, she emphasized, must fulfill its God-given mission.
Social service will have a shorter line. NEMA would not have, because you don't always have to give grocery. You can service your help. You can have someone who's home. They had a fire and they need assistance, or someone need a bed. There are different areas that you can help in. But if we can come together as a body service unto God, not man. Don't worry about, I do this and I did that and so on. Do what you could do as unto God. And he will reward us for the little we do. It don't have to be big. Like I said, it could be a can of cream. That will help somebody.
The free giveaway of food packages and clothing will take place this coming Saturday on the grounds of the church located in Hawksbill. Officials say it is definitely providing many essentials while filling a void in the lives of many. Joan Davis-Roll, ZNS Network News.
Thank you, Joan. Stay with us. Ricardo Lightborn has a check on sports when we return.
Hey everybody, it's Sports Time. I'm Ricardo Lightborn. Let's rock and roll. The Arthur Virus Marynab High School soccer playoff started yesterday with the boys. First stop, the YMCA field. The Tabernacle Falcons and Bishop Michael Eldon Warriors on the soccer pitch at the YMCA in senior boys semi-final play. The Warriors looking for an opening in the Falcons defense. No cracks on this play in the game. Bishop Michael Eldon looking again for a scoring opportunity and some pretty good passing. This time a good look at the goal. The shot is wide, far left. That's a poor effort. The Falcons is simply no slouch either and gave the Warriors goalie a good workout in the match. Let's go to the penalty kick by the Warriors. A good floater, but the Falcons playing for their life down 2-1 stepped up and squashed the play. Then came the rain suspending play and the Warriors held. Lucana National and Sunland also played to a scoreless draw and went to a shootout with LIS winning it 4-3. Clear skies over Bishop Michael Eldon Field and the rain at the Y. Bishop Michael Eldon Junior Warriors hosting Egmont Blue Jays and a trip to the finals on the line. The Junior Blue Jays with the momentum and attacking. A good look at goal for Egmont, but the Warriors goalie is up to the challenge. Soccer is a game of touches. Touches of the soccer ball, guys. Not each other, okay? The Junior Warriors with the ball and on the attack. A good look at the goal. Bishop Michael Eldon, the Blue Jays goalie, says, no way, stepped up big time. BMES Junior Boys won at 2-0 and will meet Tabernacle Falcons in the finals. Tabernacle Falcons put away the Sister Mary Patricia Russell Panthers 4-0. What's the score? And the Bahamas Golf Federation Junior National Championship folks will be coming to Grand Bahama Saturday and Sunday, the Grand Lucayan Reef Golf Course. The VGF also extending condolences to the family of the true golf legend, Calvin George Cooper Sr. In November last year, 2013, friends of Calvin Cooper held a golf tournament to honor his 85th birthday. Golfers from across the country participated in the Reef Golf Course. Special time for the golf legend. Shane Gibson teed it up on Calvin Cooper's birthday tournament and held his own on the Reef Golf Course. Chris Harris played in honor of the former national team coach and administrator. Playing on Calvin Cooper's birthday brought out the troops.
I've known Calvin Cooper practically all my life. He was a national team manager, and I played, as a matter of fact, my first Herman Cup here in Grand Bahama at the Ruby Golf Course. I was a part of the team, and he's been a dedicated person to the sport of golf. He's been a good friend not only to me, my entire family. And so when I heard that they were having a tournament to celebrate his 85th birthday, I thought it was an ideal time for me to come down and celebrate and play a little bit of golf, get away. And so there's no other place I'd rather be right now than here, celebrating with Calvin Cooper.
Calvin has been a really an icon for golf in the Bahamas for the last 30 years. As a 15, 16-year-old kid, I played on his teams when he managed the teams, and all the way up for maybe 20 years. So I mean, it's an honor to be out here to celebrate his birthday with him.
Sadly, Calvin Cooper died Wednesday, May 14th at the Princess Margaret Hospital in New Providence. He was 85 years young and well respected and loved in the golf community. And Calvin was a gentleman and one and off the golf course, folks, and we are all going to miss him here in Grand Bahama. Let's look at your sports tonight.